there, listeners. Welcome once again to Taku Katsu, the podcast review show where we watch anime, new and old, and tell you what we think about it, and if you should watch it or not. This week, we are watching Yuukoku no Moriarty the Patriot. Before I say anything about what it's like, let's just jump into what we like about it. Cori, how did you like Moriarty the Patriot?
I was like watching a blonde black butler without a demon.
That was
exactly
my thoughts. I was like, this is just like Black Butler.
I realized that there were no women in this show, and that's how boy love goes.
Damn it.
Well, while you're not wrong,
nope.
I don't think it's a BL yet. It's got potential.
Not yet.
The blonde dude and the blonde dude are definitely not related.
Yeah, they are. They're brothers.
Oh.
No, they're all related.
Then they're definitely going to do it. Anyway. That was a setup. You're welcome. No. Oh, you also know how it was boy love?
How's that?
Because boy, did he love to kill boys.
The first episode.
Mm-hmm.
They went into details. He was very familiar into describing young hair.
Oh, yeah, that was brutal. It was like...
The tender meat.
Yeah, when they were like... When
that
he was
tender
done
love
with
of
the boys
boys.
and killed them, I was like...
Cutting them. Feeling their flesh rendered apart as I...
Yeah.
Boy love.
1911 England did not
the
mess
dark
around.
version.
Anything else you want to...
They went straight to it.
Boy love. Nice.
What about you, Patrick? What'd you like about it?
You know what? This is a weird thing. I think I really like this show. I think it's gonna be probably one of my favorites because it has, it's like a crime. It's like what would they call it? True crime, kind of like, right? Where there's like, here's a situation, here's kind of the mystery, and then here's the ending. Mm-hmm. Except the best part of the show is Vicky. I would assume this would be one of your... I feel like the show was made for you. Because the ending, you get the revenge.
Yes.
You get the justice. You get the eye for an eye.
Exactly.
I was like, Vicky, this is your new...
This is right up...
This man, William, this is the new boy. Yep. Like, he's right up there.
Yep.
And I was just like, this is wild. Because like, I could relate to like a lot of people could relate to like, oh, here's a crazy person, but like we hear stories and then there's no resolution. But for this anime, it's like, no, we're going to get the resolution.
You get the beginning, middle, and the gruesome, deserved end.
Exactly. Are you saying that the weird dude who's evil, who kills people, doesn't have to have a sexual motivation involved?
Yes, you know what?
For you to enjoy revenge porn? Thank you. That's all I'd say.
Stop.
You know what?
I didn't say anything. Heal.
Next week we'll have a recap.
Whoa. We just went backwards in time. Cori just kind of did a reverse.
What? I don't. What?
He healed the podcast.
What happened?
Are we talking about Black Butler? Because I did feel like I watched Black Butler. Is that what we're talking about? Back in time?
Yeah.
It very much felt like watching Black Butler or like a period piece Death Note, but without like... just kind of the tone of it was set.
Yeah.
And it was very much like watching... Because I like detective shows, but I don't like that you don't get the deserved end. And with this show, you do. He's Sherlock Holmes. Well, he's not Sherlock, but he's Sherlock Holmes's equal who also will get the justice for the people that need it. Like he said, in that twisted world, what that guy wanted to do was seen as crime, but hey, what's the real crime? Taking revenge away from a dad who lost his son so brutally?
Both.
Well,
they're both wrong, but that doesn't make it right. But you know what?
But one
One of them feels better. Wait a minute. Am I trying to justify something? I feel really uncomfortable trying to justify these horrible actions, Cori.
I mean, when you murder a murderer, you're still a murderer. So who should murder you?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, Vicky. Maybe there's something that you could chime in with that. Is there something that resonates with you there? With a certain healing power, man.
I just like how at the end he had the dude who was like, William James Moriarty, the crime consultant, because that's exactly what Sherlock Holmes was. He was a consulting detective, and his other half is a crime consultant. Like, I loved it all. I didn't think I would like it as much as I do, but I really do, and I think I will definitely watch this whole thing.
I feel the same way. I feel like I'm definitely gonna continue to watch this. And this was a sleeper for me. I was like, I would never watch this based off of, like, I don't know, the look of it, but
yeah.
But then, because they said it's the pretty boys, and it's in that weird, like, Victorian era, or not Victorian, but like, New York 1911.
Oh yeah, it's not England, it's New York. Maybe that's why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's New York. Yeah, they're all the English, and it has like very familiar setting. But it's I feel like it did really well with its immersion. Like, it was music, the tone, the art, everything works in its favor. And man, I felt like I was in the world. So it's
the art is
good.
The music is good. Mm-hmm. It definitely is stylish. It definitely, again, Black Butler, like, levels of, like, if you like Black Butler, or at least if you're aware of Black Butler, this has a similar look, feel, presentation. Mm-hmm. The whole nine. Yep. It's kind of formulaic, but in a way that's enjoyable. But I'm going to get down to my dislikes, because you two jumped right ahead to watch. You're skipping phases over here.
Oh, whoops.
So you said it was kind of like Death Note. And I'm like, yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. But not, like, as good, in my opinion, for a first episode, to be fair. And I did watch this twice. I watched this when it came out. And I was like, yeah, I'll probably watch this. Never went to a second episode.
Oh.
And then I watched it again for this. And it is like Death Note or Code Geass, or, it's like, oh, the villain-ish character is the hero protagonist. Mm. And I'm like, okay, so why not do Sherlock Holmes? Because we've done Sherlock Holmes 1,000 times, and villains are popular now? I don't know. When I think about it, like, actually critically, I'm like, yeah, it's an enjoyable show or whatever, and it's kind of formulaic. It's CSI 1911. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Right. But, yeah. Like, why do I want to root for Moriarty? We know one, in the original novels, he's supposed to be kind of an unattractive dude anyway. But,
man, they made him hot.
It's like, we know Moriarty is, like, the kingpin of crime, right? Mm-hmm. And he facilitates at best, or makes happen at worst, crimes. So, I'm always going to be, and I think everybody who's listened to this far knows by now, I'm always going to be in the camp that Light was wrong.
What? Whoa.
Yeah. Light was a criminal.
I was about to say, Vicky was like, I already knew Vicky was right.
Whoa.
Light was a criminal, period.
Was like, Light was wrong. Okay.
Light was a criminal.
Okay.
He murdered police.
Yes, he's a criminal.
Who were doing their job.
Sidebar.
Not other things.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll allow it.
Was Light wrong?
He was a criminal who did murder.
Of criminals.
And police.
Because they were getting in his way.
and people he assumed were criminal. Yeah, well, he's obstructing crime to prevent crime so he can murder some more people via heart attack. Cool.
Vicky, stand down. Let Cori.
Let him have this one.
Is that all you have to say, Cori?
Like, let me put it like this. Do you want to live in a society of Judge Dredd?
No.
Why?
That's too... Like, Judge Dredd would, like, murder your ass for jaywalking. I feel like that
Okay. And at what point was Light gonna, like, be like, that's too far?
Well, because I don't remember him going after people with petty crimes. It was, like, the people that were murdering.
That's because he was getting chased by the police he was going to start murdering.
Well, they were getting...
Okay. Okay. Who would you rather have control of the Death Note? L or Light?
L.
Why?
Because L didn't seem like he would be corrupted by power. Light got corrupted. Like the power went to his fucking head. He was
and it goes pretty quick to your head when you can murder people with impunity. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Light was wrong.
No, he wasn't wrong. He
was corrupted by his immediate godlike power to murder anyone as long as he knew what they looked like and knew what their face... Or no, sorry, knew their name.
He became corrupted. Like, you could see the point of corruption when he's sitting there studying with the news in a bag of chips and he's like, I'll take a chip and eat it.
Look, real quick, my favorite line from season 2, Sakujo! Every time. Just, I love that. That guy was insane. I loved it. Sakujo. He was having a good time.
Yeah.
I learned the word justice in that anime too. That translated to me understanding Tosin just a little bit better from Bleach. It was great.
Yep.
Everyone knows what Keikaku means.
Yep.
Keikaku means playing.
According to Keikaku.
All called.
I say that so much at work now, and like no one gets it. No one gets it.
Wait, what was the word? I didn't actually.
That's very sad.
Keikaku? What was the word?
Keikaku.
And say what it means again.
Keikaku means plan.
Plan.
Yeah.
Okay. Nah. I was stuck with Segi, and I was stuck with Sakujo. Just, dude. Anyway.
Well,
So, yeah, Moriarty is a criminal stopping other criminals by committing crimes.
Yes. I'm all down for it.
And so, in an imperfect world...
Themselves. You know what? Isn't that what the mob...
That sounds like a mob.
The mob does?
I was gonna say, like, Yakuza mob.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
I'm cool. I need less criminal organizations, not one big one.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like, this is what I imagine, like, Japanese New York Yakuza, like.
Yep.
Because, man, do they go into it. It's like, and again, you're right, they do police themselves. Like, if police ain't gonna help us, then we might as well do it ourselves.
Exactly.
I mean,
you can't have...
See, here's the problem with this. It makes sense after the fact. If they weren't criminals in the first place, it wouldn't need to happen. So if you assume you have to have criminal organizations and criminals, if you assume that, you want them to be caught by the police. Then if you again assume that they will not be all caught by the police, that they should self-regulate, your logic is then understandable. Those are two assumptions I'm not so comfortable with.
See, Moriarty was always the, like, king of organized crime. Like, he was all for, like, the things that didn't so much hurt innocent people. But when you have random people like the Earl doing crimes, it brings a bad taste to, crime. So it's like, you gotta shut it down. You gotta get that out of there. He's got standards.
Yeah, I think
when the Yakuza have an HR department, we'll talk.
I think they do.
They are the HR.
When the Yakuza have a process where it's like, okay, we'll cut off one of your fingers if after 3 times we've warned you that doing not the thing we wanted you to is bad. Like, nah.
Hey, that's how
Yakuza don't have time for HR.
That's what is it? Back Alley Idols. That's how that.
I don't.
Oh boy.
Goku, is it Goku Idol?
Oh yeah, Goku dolls.
Sounds familiar.
It's the one where
that show. I've not watched it, but just the synopsis of that show is wild.
The first episode alone is worth watching, but
isn't it weirdly still it's almost isn't the animation super choppy or something?
It reminds me of Excel Saga, where it's just jumpy or freeze frames.
So it's not, but it's not 12 frames per second animation. There's something about it I thought was really weird. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
Still life animation.
Patrick, what did you dislike about Moriarty the Patriot? That's why it's called Patriot. He did it for his country.
Yeah, it's weird because that's the name of the show is. I was like, why is it called Moriarty the Patriot? Why is he a patriot?
He's doing it for the people.
Exactly. And in my mind, I was like, man, Vicky, this is just helping Vicky's cause. She's all about this. And now I'm like, man, I'm starting to feel for her. I'm like, that she's right. She's right. This show is right.
Hashtag,
I mean, it's not right, but it's
hashtag Vicky was right.
Hashtag heal. Hashtag Vicky was right.
Right, together in that order.
Yeah. No, don't put them together.
No,
two separate tweets.
No, do not.
Never together.
You already put it together,
don't
so I'm going with it.
Don't heal me.
Hashtag heal. Hashtag Vicky was right. Revenge porn.
No association with those two words. Just separate topics, separate ideals.
In the same Twitter feed.
Yeah. What I thought about the show? It's kind of a tough question actually, because I felt really like on board with this show. Like you said, there were no like ladies in the show. I was just a bunch of boys, which is not really necessarily a bad thing. But I would have liked a little more variety. I guess it just kind of helps with that that sense. Yeah. But
I mean, we know that there are ladies because there are boys, and we know that there's a lot of love for these boys. And we know that these boys are dead, so there has to be more boys created with love.
But here's the thing: that the writers, as BL happens, I don't think the writers know that girls exist, and so the boys are only interested in other boys, and I don't know if they know that that's how that works in this world.
It's a show that gets down with the impreg.
I was gonna say you just import them, but Yeah,
if you're into, like I said, if you're into like the crew drama or any type of drama like that, I think you'd be on board with this. Otherwise, it wasn't that like violent really at all, because they didn't show like really the actual actions. It was just like cut away to it. But so I don't think it would be that gruesome. But you could probably expect some scenes to be pretty bloody. But yeah,
I think the only downside to it was a bit slow starting, and the artistic way they took to like the first couple scenes, where it's like the juxtaposition of the statues and the guy is smiling. Like, it's like, all right, I get it, being a little arty, but a little Moriarty.
Stop.
But
editor, edit everything she just said.
Yeah.
Editor, increase that volume when she says that.
little drum roll or whatever you call that. Drum kick.
Yeah, you know what, Vicky? I think you're right. It got little like choppy, like flash and go to like it's sort of like a CJ It's just like boom, 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 cut away.
Yep.
And it was just like, oh, like why does it keep on like? It was trying to just be shocking, I guess, or like that little pop, but. Yeah, it was a little too much for me.
Very dramatic, where it's like, we'll do this shot for reasons, and then this shot. It's like, nah, just get to it. Get to the revenge, the justice. But other than that, I didn't really have any. Like, I was again surprised that I liked it as much as I did.
I think it's totally it's a good show. Obviously, got a second season.
Yep.
I probably won't watch it because I didn't watch it after episode 2, like 4 months ago or whenever it was I first watched it. And I was like, yeah, I'll watch this. And I did not watch it.
Can I entice you with a small spoiler?
Yeah.
Apparently Sherlock Holmes appears in the show.
Oh, really?
Well,
so they're going to have a battle. Well, possibly. Maybe. I mean, I'm just thinking he's the L and he's the light. I mean, when you just made that reference, I'm like, in my mind.
That's the arc. Because we're basically just saying, like, all right, we start off, we introduce him as a dude who's rich, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how he's a patriot, because I think that's some BS right now. I haven't seen it in episode 1, but that doesn't mean it's not there.
He did it for the...
And then he's going to start doing some stuff, and then he's going to become the kingpin of crime. And then Sherlock Holmes like, hey, dude, stop it. And then that's the show. That's, like, I don't know what's going to happen in season 2, 3, but, it's a pretty straightforward, like, we know where the show's going. Mm-hmm. So,
right.
I do like how Death Note pretty much is using the archetype of Sherlock Holmes and Moriarty, like just like a reversed way.
I didn't realize that until you mentioned that. It's pretty good.
So it's like,
pretty spot on.
Obviously, to spoil one of the best shows of like 15 years ago, but L dies, and that really changes the entire dynamic of the show.
L dies, but L dies on his own terms. Like, he
was the best part.
I'm trying to remember now exactly how he died.
He planned peacefully.
He was the best boy.
He planned his own death. Yeah.
Eating candy in a chair like a weirdo.
The best way to eat candy.
He was the best boy.
He was best boy. An insomniac that loved sweets. Man.
Is Death Note a pretty boy show?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would go as further than that, I suppose.
Because then Nier was pretty.
Yep.
Well, they definitely weren't like
mellow,
normal pretty. They were like dolled up, but not like I'm thinking
they were
Korean
pretty.
model pretty. They weren't BTS.
They were visual K pretty.
Visual K.
Because like Light was like standard handsome protagonist.
Yep.
Type. While
they got a ball for everyone.
And Nier and Mellow and
L.
Every other dude was either just like normal looking or like they were alt heroes.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think we said it, but to say it for the record.
I'm not gonna even say I'm gonna try.
If
I watch it, I'll tell you, but I'm probably not gonna.
Patrick,
not because I don't think it's good. I just clearly don't care enough.
Yeah, it's not in your wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm. It's in my wheelhouse. I definitely want to watch more of this. Again, if you're in for that, if you're in for the show, I feel like there's a weird thing if like people who like crime drama or true crime are really into it. Like, man, like podcasts and all these documentaries. Like, man, people are, when they're into it, they're really into it. I'm not that sucked in, but this is definitely gonna help me supply that drama.
Mm-hmm. Like, I like watching BuzzFeed's Unsolved, but I dislike watching it because you never know what happened. So like, this is perfect. But man, really, what happened? Like,
I don't know.
We need to invent time travel just so I can get answers to unsolved crimes. That's all I want.
If that's all you're using time travel for, please let me use it first.
Mm-hmm.
I got big things to change.
Like
humongous, life-altering things to change.
Huge things, would you say?
Huge.
What would you change?
I'm not catching that at all. Oh, okay. Let's do a real quick, like, middle B-side. If I was going to change one single thing, right? Mm-hmm. Shoot. I know what I'd want to do for my personal reasons, but if I was going to change something, oh, man. I think I would, I got a bunch of weird answers, so I'm going to go with one of the weird ones. I would make Nikola Tesla more famous and successful back in the day, because if he was able to stay successful and like keep people from trying to shut him down, because I want to say Ford, but it wasn't Ford, it was Edison. Edison trying to really like shut him down.
Yep.
And he could be more successful. This is a big if. Like, it could do nothing. I could like erase Edison and it would make nothing better. But I like to pretend that Tesla was a crazy genius who had one really good idea and he just needed more time and money.
Just like in the Prestige.
I'll go with that one.
Wireless light and electricity.
I mean, that particular one was a boondoggle. He spent a lot of money and didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But he had good ideas where it was like free electricity for the people. Well, Edison was like, but why when we could charge them for it? We can make it shittier.
But money though.
Yep. That's a
all right.
That's cool.
Patrick, you got one?
I mean,
it doesn't have to be a genius idea. I couldn't think of one solid genius one.
Exactly. I mean, the obvious one, the obvious answer is always like, give yourself the lottery money, you win the lottery one, or like somehow invest into Apple, whatnot. Like, those are the very common answers that everyone says just for monetary value. But that's a tough one because I'm trying to think like what I would want to change. I don't have any serious answers except joke answers. I feel like everything I would say is just joke answers.
Give me a joke answer, because I would love to go back in time and see if Jesus was like real.
Oh, that's
a good one.
Like just have personal knowledge. Like, go back in time, like Are you really Jesus? I can speak English. Oh, shit. And then move on.
Just take a picture of Jesus and be like, hey, see? He's not white, y'all.
That wouldn't work, though. Like, there's no proof. His halo, like, I'm not dead yet, but you can see it on the camera, apparently.
It just shows up. I think I would going a serious route. Make sure that, like, Malcolm X could live longer, you know? Just, like, just make a stronger, more unifying force of, for black folk to get their equality.
Specifically Malcolm X.
Okay. Martin.
Interesting choice.
MLK, he did his thing. But peace ain't doing it, bro.
Oh,
everyone's like,
whoa, wait a minute. Malcolm X changed a lot right before he got assassinated by his own group of people.
Yeah.
That was what made him interesting, because basically here's my opinion of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Malcolm X started off doing things less than ideal. And then changed and evolved and learned and grew. He got a new religion. He understood it incorrectly. He learned how it was appropriate by going to Mecca and talking to people. He came back. He was trying to make positive changes and actually like correct a lot of his mistakes.
Yep.
While Martin Luther King, as far as like the popular, knowledge is, he did little wrong. And then when he was dead, we find out like all this other stuff he did that was a little bit like, all right, man. Like, don't plagiarize, please. Or, please don't cheat on your wife. That would be nice. And it's like, I get it. Like, don't meet your heroes.
Yep.
But there's a difference that I can appreciate from having someone who has a squeaky clean image and then it gets tarnished when they're gone, or, in jail, Cosby, or having someone who had a really bad image and they kind of worked on it and they acknowledged their faults. And I mean, both are valid.
Both are very valid. Yep.
It's easier to forgive someone years later after they've made their mistakes and haven't repeated them than it is to find out, oh, they were human after all. But I still think they're both equally appropriate. And I think without one, the other one has a lot of control and sway. But when you have both, specifically Malcolm X and Martin Luther King in this instance, they attract the same group of people who want change, but want different versions of change. And while Malcolm X would have moderated his stance a lot compared to his younger days, I don't know how that would have played out in the long term. But yeah, they would have lived until the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows what
exactly.
it would
You know what? So what you're telling me is that William from this show is also correct.
It's just two different ways of going about it.
Yeah, it's interesting when you bring up the connection. Like, yeah, it is interesting. You say they're both valid, but maybe because of like all these good things are happening, or supposedly justice happens in one way. There's other type of justice happening in the other direction. That's two people. They're fighting for a single, maybe not a single cause, but a single change that they want to happen.
Yep.
Different methods to different results, and whether we find out that Sherlock Holmes was a pure, clean person and like he didn't do no wrong, and Sherlock Holmes helped everybody, like that's good. But if we find out William from this show of Moriarty was a true criminal, but he got rid of, let's say, the swamp, as we call it, draining that swamp through let's say legal means. Yes, exactly. Especially with just other crime do crime. But if he did enough, that would help the society as a whole. Like, is that a same type of like progress for the society? It's like we were saying, it's for the people. He is for the people. He is a patriot. In a different sense.
Yep. It's for the people. It's not for their comfort. Like, oh, I'm not comfortable with murder. It's like, nah. You don't want a child murderer walking around free. So let's do something about it. Let's get rid of him permanently. So,
Yeah, well, it is what it is. I mean, the world isn't perfect, and we can't make it perfect very easily, if ever. But the closer to perfection we can get things in a way that we can all agree on is nice. But again, challenges.
It's a bit like
social.
To be
nonsense.
more modern, current events. How like Epstein got caught, put in prison or whatever, and then he got off. Like someone was like, "No, we do not want."
Okay, but here's the okay.
Oh boy.
Realistically, right? Why is it important to catch Moriarty? Why is it important to catch Moriarty?
Everyone roots for Moriarty being caught to believe that structural law will prevail and that it will protect them.
And then why is it important for Moriarty to be the king of crime?
He has, standards where it's like little crime that doesn't hurt the people. It hurts the rich and the people that are the 1%. But it doesn't hurt the real people. It doesn't hurt the middle class or the lower class.
And that's an ideal that sounds nice, but at what point can we be sure that that's what Moriarty's doing?
Can't. But,
Exactly.
That's true.
So,
yeah,
so you have you find yourself in two distinct areas, right?
Mm-hmm.
You either believe that this group is better and this group is not better, or you have a standard that you follow regardless of your personal beliefs. 9 times out of 10, most people default to, I believe this group is better than this group. And so we fall into the same pattern of emotions taking over our decision making instead of the more annoying, tedious, boring, bothersome, time intensive, slow way of this is the standard. Did you meet it? Yes or no? Done. It's simpler. It's harder. And people don't like harder. They like simple, but not simple when it's hard. So if everybody had to meet the same standard, if Moriarty is such a good detective, then freaking be a detective. Stop murdering people. You're a criminal now, right?
But
and this applies to anything and everything. If you're such a good baker, then freaking bake, right? Don't get rid of all the people who sell meat because you're a good baker. That doesn't help anything. Like, look, these meat markets are stopped. Okay, yeah, maybe it is. My
I like where he's going.
My point is, if he's going to be the head criminal and stopping criminals, he's the one at the end of the day who decides what is a serious enough crime.
Well, I would
instead of
murder
there being a guaranteed standard that we all agree is the social contract, right? Sociology, psychology, I forget which one came up with it first. The social contract, I think it's social psychology, but whatever. Anyway, the social contract being, we all agree that this is what we do, right? And so anybody who decides, I don't have to do that, I can do it my way, is at best
breaking the contract.
And breaking the contract. And so when you decide you can do that and you can do it as much as you want, you're corrupted by your desire or your ability to do that. Period. End of story. And the only people who hold themselves to that are the ones who can even try to negotiate anything. And even then, they really can't negotiate much because they're trying to hold to a standard that we agree is the standard. And because we're human and we make mistakes, that's why that little negotiation, that little wiggle room is there, right? If you break a small, tiny rule, not on purpose, or you don't get what you need, not by malice of the people who are supposed to help you, right? If you're a standard bearer, you can say, okay, I see what happened. Let's bend a little bit to get you back to normal, right? That's the broad idea of things like, restorative justice, right? That's the broad idea of things like reparations, right? Of just saying like, look, we know it's not right, and we can fix it by doing a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here. But when you're just like, no, I'm the kingpin of crime, I punish criminals that the police don't catch. How about you just work with the police if you're so good at it?
Because the police ain't getting things
and
done.
If the police, and and again, right, like in the real world, because it's an anime, but in the real world, it's more complicated than that because some police are good and some police are less good and some police are actually just criminals. And some criminals are just trying to, like, be Aladdin and steal food to eat and give it to other people. I get the complications of real life, but we're not solving those problems. We're just reacting to the symptoms. And so, like, again, if you don't want to give people money for food, okay, then people are going to not have food. What do we do about that? You don't have to take my answer for it, but come up with a good one that works. I have mine that I think works. But, you know, you're not paying me to do that. So, you know, again, like, I don't have to argue, do this versus do this. Just do something and have it actually achieve the goal you're looking for. But if your goal is, I'm Moriarty, I want to do what I want to do because I think I'm awesome, that's not helping people. So Patriot my ass.
Yeah. I want to say that I think you brought up a lot of logical and real world points there.
I do that sometimes.
As I say with a grin on my face, but humans are very emotional subjects and they like instant gratification. And I think while you were just talking, I was just trying to absorb everything, and I was like, this show, Moriarty the Patriot, it's gonna appeal to the ones who want like instant gratification, like someone in this podcast in this room. where
I think it's a good show. I just don't watch it.
I didn't say who.
And yet all eyes
so I didn't say who. but the fact is that Patriot, Vicky, you are a Patriot. Anyways, Yuukoku the Moriarty, I feel like the show is gonna like not hopefully it doesn't glorify, but it's gonna like appeal to people who like instant gratification and like, oh, something bad happened, I want to see the comeuppance to the villain, like at all costs, like no matter what, because it's a very emotional spark costs. Where you're like, yes, it's very emotional spark, and you just want that, you want to eat that cake. You see the cake and you just want to eat it because you know it's there, and you're gonna get it eventually at the last 5 minutes of the show, and
by any means necessary. Am I right?
And I can see where that can be a problem because yes, that is a problem because it's not you're appealing to a human emotion where they're, you know, we like to believe we're logical, but no, we really just run off of the first 5 minutes that we just experienced. Like, this has happened. Let's do that.
Humans are not Vulcans. We are not logic driven. We are messy emotional creatures. And Moriarty is like justice for the person, not necessarily for the people, because the people might be like, "Oh, put him in jail." Whereas a person like that dad was like, "If I knew who did this," and he was straight. He did what he said he was going to do.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
On my second watch, knowing what has happened, part of me is like, shouldn't they get all the dads together and start beating on this dude?
That's what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah, true.
I really did.
That would have been a better ending.
Because again, like, for the person, he helped one person, I won't say feel better because I know that's not how that works, but he had one person get their revenge. But this dude killed more than one kid. Yeah. He killed like at least 3 and maybe 4 kids. I think
it was 7.
But he only, I know there was the homeless kid, there was the stagecoach or
Baker,
horse guy.
The
jeweler, baker, and
the hat.
Yeah.
The hat maker?
Hat maker. Yeah. Was it a hat? Whatever. At least 4, if not 5.
There were a lot of kids.
So like, there should have been 3 other dads minimum.
I think it's because...
That would have been so good.
It really would have been. But I think when you get more and more people trying to do a crime like that, someone's going to break.
Oh, you think crime's bad?
Someone's going to break. And
because crime's bad.
No, but it's just like someone's going to get someone busted.
Oh, well, if we all have a birthday party, no one's going to break. So I don't understand why...
Well, okay.
Is this thing that's not bad? What's the problem? You can't share the birthday party or crime
accomplices, the better,
yes, exactly.
Guys.
It's like
you got to work with small
accomplice. Oh, I thought accomplice was like a negative term. It's a good thing.
It's like
we all want to accomplish things.
It's like planning a surprise party. The more people that know about it, the more likely it is it's going to get out.
And we all know everybody loves surprises.
Oh yeah,
like murder.
They sure do.
All right.
They sure do.
Now, Patrick's got somewhere to go in like 15. Do we want to do a B-side or do we want to leave it?
No, I think we had a really...
No, I could keep going.
So let's since we've created a pause that was my doing. Let's go over our social medias and YouTubes and things. So, what's our email, Patrick?
Our email is otakukatsupodcast@gmail.com. Feel free to send us any emails and requests, and we will be gladly respond to them.
And Vicky.
You can also find us on Twitter at Zero Taku Katsu, like Taku Katsu, but it's Zero Taku Katsu at Twitter at Zero Taku Katsu. We post when episodes are up and interact with you lovelies if and when you please.
If and when you exist, even. And then again, I just got paid, so I'm seriously considering doing the what's it called, Spotify. So we'll probably start having those all up, and then we can worry about things like websites and stuff in the near future. But as you would know if you're listening to this episode 15, Otaku Katsu, we upload to YouTube every Saturday. At what time normally? Like 11 Central, 12 Central?
It's like afternoon.
Sometimes we update on Saturdays.
I would put a time on it.
So
yes.
Don't bell icons. Subscribe.
Hit that bell. Yeah, hit the bell if you'd like to be notified when we update and post new content.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and go to the B-side. Get our rice and our vegetables in this fantastic katsu.
Get our good old okazus in here.
All right, Patrick. Do you want me to do the introduction to it, or you want to sell us on this B-side today?
All right. So I guess we were talking about Pokemon. Wait, no, we were talking about what were the best anime worlds to kind of live in, because we were thinking about when you watch anime, you only see the good parts of it. But it feels like most anime that you do watch, if you take a step back and look at it, it would probably be not the best place or not the best world to live in. So we were trying to think of like our first topic could be is what would be your ideal anime world that you would want to live in. Like, you don't have to be the main character, you don't have to be the villain, just living in
just strangers. Yeah,
you're just an NPC just walking around doing your own thing. You can live out your whole life in this anime world. As the first topic. I mean, Vicky, I don't know if you have.
Okay, but I want to go ahead and just cut straight to it. So we ended up saying Pokemon would be a great world to live in. Mm-hmm. And we're like, everybody's got their own. At 11 years old, you can just walk out in the world and make some money and just live your life, right?
Yeah.
But then Patrick and I came up to one very clear truth. Pokemon are like guns.
Yes.
Everybody's got a gun in the Pokemon world, and that world is way, way, way more peaceful than it has any right to be. Right? The only terrorists you got in Pokemon are Magma and the other one. I already forgot their name. Because they're like, we want the world to be like this. No, we want the world to be like this. We need to summon this magical gun to break the world. But honestly, there's like one Nurse Jenny, right? She's everywhere. There's one cop.
One Officer Joy.
She's everywhere too. Officer Joy, that's right.
Wait, Officer Jenny. Nurse Joy.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Obviously, I don't watch Pokemon enough to remember this. The whole world is way too peaceful. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't even think I've seen it. I mean, again, don't watch a lot of Pokemon anymore. I don't think I've seen an army in this world. Where is the army? Like, Mewtwo's over here just wrecking shop. There's no army. No one calling in the military police. Pokemon is a world where everyone has magical guns and no one is like, it's a peaceful world.
That is weird.
Yes, and the main concept was like, if you give kids guns, right? Like, they can fight back. Like, if you give everyone a gun, then everyone's on the same playing fields, which are the Pokemon. Like, if you can't, an older person cannot, like, he could try to rob a kid in the real world, because the kid doesn't have any power. But if that kid had a Charizard with him, he could take out his offender.
That is literally what happens every episode. Team Rocket tries to steal from a little kid, Ash.
From Ash,
and he kicks their ass.
Yep.
And
every time.
Like, launches them into space every episode.
Again. Right?
To be clear, we do not condone everyone having a gun, including kids.
Nope.
No, apparently Pokemon does condone everyone over the age of 11 having a gun. Just go out there and get yourself a gun, kids.
I would say
go.
Like guns. I'd
you
say
see
they're
some
more
tall
like
grass,
guard
get
dogs.
some guns.
Like really well trained.
Guard dogs that could immolate you.
Yeah, but the immolation is not permanent.
I mean, sometimes.
Depending on which Pokemon.
Depends on what episode we're watching.
There's also no death in Pokemon. I don't remember one episode where like something
Cubone.
died.
Cubone.
Oh,
they die. Pokemon die. Ghost Pokemon exist.
Ghost Pokemon.
That is true.
Pokemon definitely do die.
But we don't see it.
Oh, see? Censorship.
I think we do. There was a famous episode where a dog Pokemon died. Very sad.
What?
Look, there's a whole episode where Charmander was almost dead.
True.
Almost dead. And then, tons of episodes later, Charizard's almost dead. He's just like, I rub you with my hands.
Yeah.
Pokemon die.
Huh.
And they can kill you.
Yeah, they say...
These guns are so powerful, they think for themselves and might actually attack you back if you're not good enough.
They can form their own gangs.
That's right. Yep.
The Squirrel Squad.
Yep, Squirrel Squad.
Yes. Those mofos have lots of guns. They're guns with guns. Water guns.
They do water guns.
Guns with guns. Guns holding guns. Wait, unlicensed guns with guns.
Unlicensed gangs of roving guns.
That's just called like a wild pack of hyenas. You know, they're just out in the wilds.
All I know is if the Squirtle Squad were to level up enough to become the Blastoise Squad, they would wreck shop because they have water cannons. They got double cannons. So now we have guns with 2 cannons.
Yep, the Cannon Squad.
Just literally, you know why they don't have an army? The Pokemon are the army.
Mm.
Yes, they are. They are the army.
That could be it. The Pokemon themselves police crime because they don't want crime.
But they commit crime too. So again, we're going back in the Moriarty issues again.
Because wasn't Score Bunny, because I saw a recent episode not too long ago, Score Bunny was stealing food for these little, it looked like foxes, like a trio of foxes, because they were hungry and no one knew what it was because he was so dirty.
Aren't they wild animals? Why can't they get their own food?
Exactly. Because humans civilize so much of the wild in their natural habitat. Habitat disappearance causing these...
So you're saying Team Aqua was right?
No.
I said you're saying Team Aqua was right.
Team Hafu?
Aqua.
Oh, Aqua. I don't know Team Aqua.
Water. I don't actually know much.
It's one of those teams.
They're a terrorist organization that runs with Pokemon, and they want the water one to beat the fire one.
But how fun is it that your criminal organizations are called Team? They're like...
That's
Team
awesome.
Rocket, Team Aqua, Team Magma. Yeah. Silliness. This is how peaceful this world is. Everyone has guns. So,
how does Team
Rocket's
world... intro go? Prepare for trouble, make it double.
Oh, man.
Make double.
They changed it, too. I don't think it's the same.
Prepare the world for devastation.
To unite all evil.
Within our nation?
From within our nation.
It's something like that.
To denounce the evils of truth and love.
See, that's a terrible message.
Yeah.
To extend our reach to the stars above.
And which is why they are Team Rocket.
To see James. Me out, that's
blasting
right.
off at the speed of light. Me out, that's right.
Did you come up with that, or did you Google that, Patrick? Because that was impressive otherwise.
In my mind, I was just like, wait a minute, it has to rhyme.
Yeah.
I was like, it has to rhyme, that's all I know.
He logicked his way in there. He's like, look, all right, I know art.
Look, if we're gonna recruit young impressionable kids to our group, we needed to have a nice tagline.
Hey, I did like Jesse and James.
It needs a beat.
They had a tight intro every time they showed up on the scene.
Every time.
And you're like, I can get down with that. They had a talking me out.
That's right.
That's wild, though.
The guns can talk.
They can learn to.
Yep. So yeah, Pokemon is pro-gun. That's what we learned today. Because at 11, you get licensed to be a Pokemon trainer. You just go out there and you start beating stuff up. At 11.
I think
11.
The thing with the 11
is a more peaceful world, apparently.
With the kids going off on these wild adventures away from home at 11, I think that has to do...
Deadly adventures.
Well, no one dies.
no human dies.
Yes.
Well, not in the well, I'm sure they do. They have to.
Off screen.
Yeah, that's all off screen.
Remember my rival? Yeah. Where's he been? He's dead. When? Off screen. I don't know.
Gary's gone, and we never see him again.
No, he's a ghost Pokemon now.
But it's
Gary Oak, Haunter.
I think it comes from the Japanese thing where like little kids are let go off in the world on their own, like to the shops and stuff, because they believe in community. That's true. You can ask any adult for help and they'll help you.
I wonder, is that where the police box idea comes from? Because I always thought that was interesting.
Mm-hmm. That you could just
in Japan,
pick up a phone.
Go to police box.
Police box?
What the fuck is a police box?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. That's true. In Japan, you would see little kids just taking the bus, like going up adults.
Little kids.
They're on the Shinkansen. They're just like elementary, going to school by myself, or going to the market, going to that 7-Eleven, get some food, go back home.
You give them money to go buy Americans. They come back with the money and the thing they were sent to buy because the shopkeeper's so nice or something. It's crazy. But yeah, that would not work in America.
I mean, it could.
It's true.
It just, we won't do that. But it could. It could work. We're just not doing it.
I don't think it.
I mean, look, the idea of a latchkey kid has been around for a long time.
Well, yeah, latchkey kids.
True.
Like, that's the same. It's at its minimum, it's the same. It's not literally the same. It's the cultural differences that are involved there and expectations. Mm-hmm. But, if we all purposely said we're going to tell our kids how to do stuff, these are the people you talk to, and it became a cultural expectation, that would happen. That's how that works with culture. Mm-hmm. Culture changes when you make it change. So,
but we don't have the hundreds of years to do that yet. Mm-hmm. So
no, we just got to import a lot of people from more collectivist societies, and then they'll slowly become a thing. It'll take like 100 years. Anyway,
but what anime world would I live in?
Right.
Not Pokemon, even though that would be great.
It's a safe pick.
I mean, I'd love to be able to just go find legendary Pokemon and be like, look at my awesome gun.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
It's called Zapdos.
It's a safe pick. I think Pokemon is definitely a safe pick.
It's the safest pick.
And you can also, I think it's the safest pick most of them,
Doraemon is a safe pick.
Any of the family shows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just like, Pokemon is super ideal. Like, literally anybody could be a trainer. Anyone can get out there.
Chobits.
No.
It's normal. See, here's a problem with safe worlds. They're either like Pokemon, like kid-friendly, for the most part, except for the murderous dragons that can decide that you're not good enough. Or they're just real life, but slightly better, like a Chobits. Or a bottom-tier character, because as far as we know, there's almost no crime.
It's just real life.
Because we don't see it. Things are just
that's just high school.
Yeah, it's like, that's cool, right? But if anything cool, like, I would never want to live in the Dragonball universe.
Yeah, no.
Oh boy.
Like, I'm dying, like, all the time. I've been revived from the dead at least once.
Mm-hmm. You'd be Krillin.
Oh man.
Yep.
Krillin is a boss. I'm talking about that dude down the street that lives in a house that got eaten by Cell.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yep.
Like, that's the normal life. Like, they're dog mayors and you're dead. And you got revived once. And then a psychic guy who talked through Mr. Satan, that's his name, also said, hey guys, I'm going to beat Boo. Put your hands in the air and give me your energy.
Ugh, Majin Buu was just weird.
Also, you might get turned into candy after you were killed the last time.
It's a good anime.
See, and also you were revived by circumstance. You weren't wished to be revived personally. You're like, and everyone that died this couple of days, just everyone died.
Right.
Just revive everyone. Just do it.
Like,
it's gonna happen a lot.
If the magical dragon wishing balls doesn't get you perfectly within its category, you're done. You just died for nothing.
Revive everyone, but that one guy. I hate that guy.
I think I'd live in Revolutionary Girl Utena's universe. Even though it seems like it's only the one school that does this weird rose tradition.
The Rose Bride.
Yeah.
You know, I watched one more episode. I'm on 30 now. I'm making slow progress.
Slowly but surely.
Baby steps.
That world is not super fleshed out. So part of me is like, what is this end of the world nonsense that I do not understand by episode 30 and they have not explained, Vicky, that you would want to live in? It sounds like they're literally trying to kill us all, but like in a dumb way.
No, from what I remember, it was like you fight to possess the Rose Bride. Now as I speak.
That sounds nice. Who are you? Are you the Rose Bride?
No, but it just...
You don't want to be the Rose Bride.
It's just the idea that anyone could, like... Because it's like fighting to be number one, and the Rose Bride just happens to be the symbol of, like, being number one, and then you get your wish granted once...
So, if I may, Vicky, are you telling me you want to live in a world where you can win someone?
I want to live in a world where I could challenge and be beaten by Utena. I wouldn't.
But what if you were the prize?
If I were the Rose Bride, I for sure would not be as how to phrase it, come see come saw as Anthe. But I think that's just that's just an effect of her being like won by all these different people. Like, she has the time to build connections to people because people keep using her as an object, a means to win. Whereas, like, Utena,
when I get done with that anime, we're gonna have to talk because, I mean, wait till 2022. But we're gonna have a talk because this show has not sold me yet.
I'm gonna have to eventually join on this ride because, I mean, I just have to finish the show as well.
We could just skip the anime itself and watch the movie, which is basically the same but slightly different.
Look, I'm 30 episodes in. I'm gonna finish this stupid thing. 22 more episodes. I got a whole season
50
left.
episodes. Oh,
I think it's 51 episodes. Isn't that right, Vicky?
It's something like that.
God.
It's a whole bunch.
I'm gonna watch Ranma just to cleanse it out when I'm done.
Oh my god.
Get confused by the fact that Ranma's a man, but also a beautiful woman. But yeah. Patrick, any more ideas?
No, that's I was just kind of like looking up like what were the best anime worlds like people were posting, and they're not in the right mindset as where they're like saying Pokemon. I'm just saying like they're saying like Digimon or like My Hero Academia.
I was just about to say My Hero Academia. We didn't say it.
My Hero Academia.
We could have quirks, y'all.
Unless you're quirkless, then you're screwed.
Yeah, in which case that would be Suck
like,
City.
In a future where everyone has a quirk, quirks aren't as cool. But if you got a good quirk, awesome. But also, like, now you just have superpowered criminals all the time.
Yeah.
And I think a world where everyone has superpowers and some of those superpowers are broken is a worse world than a world where no one has superpowers or a few people.
I don't know. Normalizing superpowers seems like a fun way of being like, all right, everyone has something uniquely special that they can do.
But I mean,
we do
that's
already,
true.
Vicky.
Exactly. In real life, we all have things that we're good at, and while we may not be the best of everyone ever or everyone who's ever lived, you know, as long as you're willing to cultivate your skills, your interests, your talents, you know, you can be an adult who does a podcast with their friends.
Yeah.
Yes, I would. Even though My Hero Academia sounds amazing, that villains. Like, I would be like, nope, I don't. Because if someone was on the wrong side, like, imagine having Saitama as a villain. If he just switched his, like, he was the evil Superman. Like, you don't want, like, Superman is great, but if you, like, one small thing click, and you don't want the villain to be, like that's, a side of the world.
Brightburn was a horror movie. Yeah. Brightburn was a horror movie. That's all I'm saying.
The rest is too much.
What's a good? Now I gotta look around my room here.
I know, right?
What do I got in here that says like a good anime?
Like what's?
Oh, okay. Again, I'm gonna go with a really lame answer. Genshin. I want to live in that world. That world seems fun.
But that's the real world, basically.
Again, normal world.
The real world.
It's a good world.
No, I would choose. I just had it.
Ooh, I got a good one.
The world of Jobless Reincarnation, but the other world that he goes to.
The actual isekai.
Yeah, I would be in the isekai world.
Okay.
Because anyone can learn magic. They can be.
You gonna be a woman in this world?
I'm gonna be a gray rat in this world.
Right? You want to tail?
I'm a gray rat.
You want to tail, Vicky? Because you can get some.
Good.
I'm just saying, everyone has the potential of magic or being a good fighter or like something like that. Like, and then you can go on adventures.
Right.
Medieval, magical, but also furry land. I'm not sure I'm okay with this. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not a terrible world to live in, but it's not the best world either. Okay, so I have one. Neither of you are probably familiar with this franchise, and you should be ashamed. And anyone who hears this, also be ashamed. Banner of Stars or Crest of Stars, also known as what's it? Seikai. Oh shoot, I already forgot the Japanese. Anyway, I love this world. It's space. Humans have traveled all over the galaxy to colonize multiple things. There is an intergalactic war going on. And if you're in the Ob Empire and you are not an Ob, you can't own a spaceship and get off planet. But otherwise, life's pretty good.
Just some space
each individual planet.
That's gonna be a thing.
It's not okay. So back to, have either of you watched either Crest of Stars or Banner of Stars? Or read the books, because all of these things are valid choices and you should do them all. And also, please, Japan and America and anyone else, release the rest of the books so I can buy them. So it's not it's space racism, but it's against the Ob because they are genetically modified. And the Ob are like the biggest. They call themselves the Human Empire Ob, and they are very powerful, but they are benevolent. Like, strictly speaking, they are benevolent. If they take over your planet, they just want to say, we own the space over the literal space around your planet. Your planet does what it does. We're not interfering. Like, it's the best version, if you have to take one, of being conquered. It's like, look, we just want to own you. You do your thing. We might take a little bit of tax here and there. But that's it. Like, they're not trying to rule your planet. They're just trying to have the space around your planet so they can have access to resources as needed.
But that's my space.
So
it's just just real estate.
Which is why, obviously, when they get conquered, people aren't so happy sometimes.
Yeah.
But
it's my space to do with what I want.
Yeah. Versus Facebook.
I'm gonna call it right now. I would love to live in the world of Loveless.
Oh, that is the world I want to live in.
That's gonna be amazing. It's gonna
world.
be amazing. Like, yo, that is the social norm's gonna be amazing.
Have you watched any more Loveless?
Have not. Can't watch part 2 because the boy's gonna be crying. The boy's gonna be crying.
But you get into the good battle, and like the battle is so cool. Yep, I would choose Loveless because while having a name and stuff is part of like this whole other thing, having animal like tails and ears would be cool as hell.
Yeah, no, Seikai no Seki, by the way, that was what I was trying to say. I would love to have a prehensile tail. That is the weirdest, coolest thing I could want, and I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm never going to try to make that happen. If someone's like, hey, pay $1 and I'll give you a prehensile, I'll be like, no. I want it, but no, that sounds like a bad choice. But if I could just live in a world where we all had prehensile tails, woo! That sounds awesome. I would take that over a lot of stuff. Like, flying is maybe the only other thing I'd want over a prehensile tail.
So basically, before humans got rid of their tails.
I guess. I don't know when that
or
happened.
a Goku situation.
I mean, if he could be a Saiyan, I would be a Saiyan if it meant I didn't have to actually do all the Saiyan-related shit.
Does that mean all the Saiyans had tails?
Yeah.
What happened to Vegeta's tail?
That's their
race.
Got cut off.
You could cut them off.
Why did they cut off their tails?
So they don't turn into monsters?
You don't turn into the monkey beast.
Have you not watched Dragonball?
Have you seen Dragonball?
It has been so long. And I'm just like...
You need to watch more Dragon Ball.
Yeah, that's straight Dragon Ball. That's not even Dragon Ball Z, because Dragon Ball was like he had...
Look,
I remember he turned into the monkey beast.
yeah.
But then I'm like, wait, if all Saiyans had tails...
To be fair...
Wouldn't they learn to control that beast?
They do.
No, yeah,
they do. But to be fair, they don't address the actual tail issue very clearly, because in Dragon Ball, they cut off they cut off Goku's tail like twice, and it regrows. Mm-hmm. But as far as Trunks, Vegeta, Gohan, Goten, Kid Trunks, they don't talk about where that tail goes.
Yeah.
They're just like, there's no tail anymore. And like, I think they're like, we surgically removed it only for one character one time, maybe. Maybe they said that. They do not talk about it. From early Dragon Ball Z, where Goku turns into, Vegeta turns into Ozuru, he gets his tail cut off, and they don't talk about that.
Did Vegeta?
Yeah, they cut his tail.
I don't remember.
Yeah, Vegeta turned into it.
And then in GT, they do it again, but that's it. Like, they don't address it at all. They're like, here's a power. Never again.
Wow. I don't remember seeing him with a tail, because he showed up in the suit.
He wraps it around the outside of the suit.
Yep.
What?
It's like
go watch it. Go watch go look at a
belt.
picture of an early episode from Dragon Ball Z. It's there.
Wow.
And it's same thing for Nappa.
Fascinating. I'm gonna find those episodes. But yeah.
And then Gohan actually gets his tail cut off because Vegeta was like, "Oh shit," because he sees the. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. You clearly need to go rewatch this 20, 30, 40.
It's like 30 years.
30-year-old.
It's legit.
Yeah.
Like 35 years.
Way before.
God, it's old.
It existed before me, and it will exist after me. It's like...
This is true.
I'm pretty sure it's going to exist.
Dragon Ball 12. That's just, they're going to stop giving it letters.
Yep.
Oh, man. What other... Yeah, I would love to live in a space opera universe. That'd be great. What else is there? Because there's really no, like, superhero-based shows that you actually want to live in. There's too much property destruction.
Mm-hmm.
It's too much of a high risk. Like I said, the high risk to high reward, it isn't worth it. It's risking the fate of the world of one crazy villain. It's like,
Mm-hmm. Well, fascinating thought experiment. Listeners, let us know what anime world you would live in down in the comments below or on Twitter.
Yeah, well, since Vicky didn't properly introduce us to start the show.
Oh.
Let's introduce ourselves to end the show.
I
don't recall.
Yeah, who have I been talking to this whole time?
I mean, we've said names, haven't we? Have we said my name? I've said Patrick's name. I've said Vicky's name.
I've
said
Cori's name.
There it is. All right.
I said it when I introduced you. Well, this has been...
You went straight into, like, what do you like? I'm like, all right, that's what we're doing.
If they don't know us by now, they better know us.
Then congratulations. Welcome to the first episode that you heard of Taku Katsu.
Well, this has been Taku Katsu with your host, Cori.
What's up?
And Patrick.
Light was right. William is right. Malcolm X is right. Also, Vicky is right.
and along with me, Vicky, hey, crime pays because you're stealing from the rich who have too much anyway.
Or rich people steal from poor people, and then poor people steal from poor people. And then middle-income people try to steal from rich people, and then they become poor people because they go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
I could do this all
You know
day.
what? On that point, when the rich steal from the poor, they don't call it crime, so why should the reverse be called crime?
It's because it's all crime, and we just need to do it right and stop letting people get away with shit they shouldn't get away with.
Exactly. If all of this theoretical talk has been...
Theoretical?
or...
Theoretical crime.
But, the theory crafting of crime and justice and whatnot.
The thought crime.
Yep. Oh, 1986. 1984. 19-something. Man, that book is great.
Okay.
It's been a while.
Okay. Vicky, You good?
Yes.
You awake?
I'm so awake.
She dozing in and out, guys. You can't see her.
Patrick, what are we watching next week?
Oh, that's right. Okay, we're watching. It's Cori and me. We're gonna pick the show either way. What's gonna happen? It's gonna be Ijiranaide Nagatoro-san, which is the teasing anime.
Oh yeah,
a girl teasing the boy.
Oh my god.
God.
I mean, this is gonna. I feel like this is gonna be a trend, or there's gonna be plenty of anime like this, and so let's just dive into one of the more infamous ones. And yeah, well, we'll expect. I don't know what to expect from this episode, you guys. So we'll see. We'll see.
You know what?
What topics we can talk about.
As someone who chose Redo of Healer as one of our first few episodes, I'm sure that this show will be great and harmless, and there will be no problems, and I will love it unironically and feel guilty about it at the same time.
This one won't backfire for sure.
No, look.
No,
look,
of course not.
The only controversy about this one is that they think she's an actual bully, while Redo of Healer had way more stuff to say, so it's gonna be fun.
Cori, do you know what you want to watch the week after?
I do. I've been trying to watch 86 for like 4 weeks. I'm going to wait another week. Watch it. Real bad. And then Vicky, did you watch the video at all? The YouTube video from Mother's Basement?
Unfortunately have not.
Okay, you got another week to figure it out.
But I will watch it.
She's a busy lady.
But also, I want
to watch 86. I want to watch what Patrick's got. But there's another show on there that I swear to God you were going to want to watch. Because it's basically got the Shonen AIBL thing going on for it.
Well, I will watch it and probably pick it. But also, I heard that The World Ends With You is out now as well. And that is going to be a pick that I will have on deck for us.
So next week we're talking, what's it called again?
Ijiranaide Nagatoro-san, which is like, don't be so mean to me or whatever.
Yeah. So I'll definitely watch that. And then next week after that it'll be 86. Mm-hmm. And then whatever Vicky decides is her first priority.
Yeah.
And then I know I've got at least one other show I'm probably going to hate watch, but not hate watch. And then we're not going to talk about why that is. But it's all this time, since we were not impressed with the general listings, we based it on Mother's Basement's his own little reviews, because I watch his videos all the time.
Shout out to Mother's Basement. Watch that show, but after listening to our show first. Listen to us first.
I mean, look, them and Beyond the Bot, those are my two mains, and then I definitely like Super Eye Patch Wolf every now and again, and any news, I watch him very sporadically. Those are my YouTube, my real YouTubers versus us podcast YouTubers right here.
Real YouTubers.
All good choices.
We're real YouTubers when we have commenters. Do we have commenters yet?
But we're on YouTube.
Okay, all right. I mean, I'll take the technicality, but I'm not gonna claim anything to anybody. Like, you making money on YouTube? I'm like, no.
We'll get
technically right is best, right?
Because technically,
hey, look, as soon as we make money on YouTube, guess who's paying for Spotify? Those ads.
Exactly. If you'd like to sponsor us, bang, love your stuff. Hit us up. Bang energy drink.
Now we're good. We need a manager to ask companies for stuff with our zero commercial value.
Hey, you
guys getting way too ahead of us right now.
We're a sleeper underground hit, just like Yuukoku or Moriarty.
Just wait.
Yeah, that's how sleeper underground hits talk. We are a sleeper underground hit. We're so sleeper, no one knows it yet because no one knows us.
When we hit 100 episodes, everything's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It may take 100, 200. I mean, who knows, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It'll be just fine.
Time to wake up.
Oh, I'll let everybody know when we make our first full penny.
Hey.
After tax.
You'll keep it forever. Well.
We'll take that half penny.
Anyway.
Our digital penny on the wall.
Well, for our second goodbye again, this has been Taku Katsu with your host, Cori.
What's up?
Patrick.
How's it going? And goodbye.
And me, Vicky. Until next time. Ja, mata ne.
Mata ne.
Ciao, mata.